What's going on, Simulings? It's Chris from AppSumo. Thank you for joining us for another product webinar today. We're going to get going in just a minute, but give you guys a second to trickle in. So today we are joined with Arjun, who's the founder and CEO of Hello Woofy. And Hello Woofy is available right now on AppSumo for just $49 starting off. It is a AI-enabled digital marketing tool that helps you save time and optimize your social media strategy using visual data science. It's a super cool tool. We're very excited to dive into it today. Before I turn this over to Arjun to give us this walkthrough, I want to let you know two quick things. So one, if you have any questions about this tool, getting set up, how the deal's structured, anything like that, feel free to drop that in the Q&A box below the video, and we'll circle back to those questions at the end. Second piece is if you have to jump out early, you miss anything, don't worry about taking notes or missing it. We will send out a replay later on after we finish the recording, so you can rewatch it as many times as your heart's content. But other than that, Arjun, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely, and thanks for having us on both on the website, and your team's been great in terms of supporting us as absolutely fabulous. A little bit quick background on myself. I've been an entrepreneur since I was a teenager, built 4 startups, 2 venture backed at this point, and my passion throughout the career, essentially, if you can call that, has been in the communication space, in the marketing, and the advertising space. And so many of the things that we built into the platform comes from experience, not just because we felt like doing it. And I'm definitely looking forward to giving you a demo, giving you a lay of the land, and showing you some neat tricks that Woofy has up his sleeve.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Yeah, so I will turn it over to you. Lindsay, you can turn off your camera. I'm going to turn mine off, and we will let you do your walkthrough. Again, Simulings, got any questions as Arjun's going through the walkthrough, feel free to drop those in the Q&A below the video. But screen share is coming through clear.
Great. So again, we know the tools out there. I mean, especially your audience is very much well-versed with the marketing space and the tools that are available. But let's just take a look at one example, right? Hootsuite. We actually have Hootsuite here. It's up to you guys if you want the owl or the dog. I think the owl, by the end of the video, you're definitely going to want the dog. But Hootsuite is a great company. It's highly respected, been around for a while. But one of the things that they have really not focused on is the intelligence factor. It's very old, very clunky. If you're a creative individual, as many marketers tend to be because they're working with creative content and creative design and graphics, this is not a tool that is designed for people like that. It's very, very linearly designed. And when it comes to trying to figure out, why did you do really well? Was it the copy you used, the spacing, the emojis you use, the hashtags, the size of the image, the resolution of the image? As you know, every platform has its own rules and regulations. This tool doesn't give you any level of understanding of, how can you become better or learn from your mistakes or your successes and take that learning to the next step, or when you're launching another campaign. Now, when you look at tools which are a little bit more robust, we're obviously talking about tools which are like Radiant 6, which is now a marketing cloud at Salesforce, or if you're thinking about Social Flow or Sprinkler. Again, very respected companies in the industry, and they really set the tone. But these tools, while they're very powerful, they kind of make you feel like you need a PhD, or at the very least, a master's degree to understand how do you use the information that they're giving you. The sentiment analysis, the word cloud, the time of day, all that information is amazing. But at the end of the day, they actually don't help you execute. They still give you feedback, and then it's upon you and your team to then take that information. First of all, if you can afford a team, and if you can afford the price point that these tools are at, even if you don't have the ability as a small or medium-sized company to afford or use tools like this, because it's not part of your toolbox, essentially. You need more time, you need more resources, and you need more capital. And so what ends up happening is small to medium-sized companies, agencies, small businesses, they get left behind. While unlimited budgets, large corporations with unlimited budgets, they get to get ahead and make data-driven decisions. So long story short, what we built was essentially a data-driven platform that allows you to make decisions, allows you to optimize your content. I'll move us on the left side over here. And it really, we're giving every small and medium-sized company a fighting chance to actually compete with those big boys in the industry. Think of it like the underdog. It's one of the reasons why we had the dog as a mascot right here, is because, like your best friend, he's always there teaching you when, how, and what to post. but we want to support the underdogs. And that's not just people in the US or in Canada. We actually have found other countries, where, namely tier 2 countries that, like, Facebook likes to call, they're actually feeling more confident in using a tool like this, because you'll see in a couple of minutes, we actually give you a sense of confidence when it comes to English speaking content or copywriting, because we actually automatically complete your words and sentences using something called predictive linguistics, which is a patent pending piece of technology that we've developed. Does that give you a good introduction to where we're going? Chris, you there?
Hey, yeah, you're doing great.
Cool. So just to get started with the demo itself, on the left side, you'll notice that there, in purple is indicative of your campaigns. So if you're running a campaign, say, Chris, you and I start a coffee shop tomorrow, and we're running a campaign on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday basis, say for cappuccinos of the week, the lattes of the week, and the drip coffees of the week. We can do that every week, and so that will be a repetitive automated schedule. But then on the other hand, we might want to talk about customers of the week on a Tuesday, other potential customers that we're looking to go after. We want to talk, reach out to them on a Thursday, but we actually don't want to do that every week. We want to do that every other week, or maybe once a week. And so what will happen is, on the calendar, very much keeping that visual theme in mind, purple will be a Gantt chart. It will show you long-term campaigns, while blue, on the other hand, in the middle, those are your ad hoc, task-oriented posts. So if you find an article about coffee and how it's really healthy for you, and you want to talk about that today, and then another article about the top 5 countries where the most popular coffee beans are coming from, that's another article. It's not enough to create a campaign in and of itself, but you might want to post that at the end of the week, or maybe early next week. And so those are 2 examples of 2 individual single posts, and those will be shown as blue dots on the calendar. And you'll see that when we move into the calendar tab. Now, of course, you have the ability to add team members. We recommend clients be viewers so that they can come in, take a look at your content strategy, the library, the calendar, and things of that nature. But if you have people on board that are working with you directly, teammates, you can bring them as full access admins, or limited access as managers and editors. And when you go ahead and add people there, you'll see the description of the permission control available for each individual. Now, one of the other things that we always were told and asked over and over again is, how do I save my favorite hashtags so that I can post them automatically when it comes to adding content? Well, one of the things that we did was a hashtag playlist. So very much like a music playlist, you have the ability to drop down, choose different kinds of playlists, essentially, or we call it hashtag playlists. Of course, LA marketing being one, or entrepreneur hashtags being another, and you can add as many as you want here. And when you go about adding content or creating a single post, you'll see those hashtags available there for you to quickly just tap, 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 and it'll automatically add it. So let's move on to the Discover section. Now, in the Discover section, one of the things that we always felt as a pain point, especially running an agency on my own with individuals around the world, is how do I find the latest and greatest content from all over the internet in real time that's actually trending and is insightful? So what we do is, instead of you having to manually go around and do the grunt work that may take you hours on end, we actually bring you over 45 different leading publications from all over the world to your fingertips, and all you have to do is click on the category, and of course you can add many, many more categories right here. But if you want to click on, say, the business category, for example, you can see what's the latest and greatest here. Of course, the Cybertruck being one of my favorite pieces of content here. Absolutely love Elon. Let's go ahead and click on this article from TechCrunch. Now, what will happen is in the middle, of course, you're noticing that the article is there. You can read it in the platform. If you like it, you can click Add to Library as an example, or you can create a single post. Again, those one-off ad hoc posts, which you can post today, maybe in the next week. But for the demo here, let's go ahead and add it to the library. Now, remember, the library is your repository. It's where you store your content, where Woofy is able to analyze the content, try to learn from what you're liking, how you're posting, what hashtags you're using. It's essentially your ability to make Woofy smarter, but actually make more intelligent campaigns as well overall, because it's constantly being analyzed. It's not just a library for the sake of storing. And so as you can see here before you, the link that was available from TechCrunch is right there. Woofy actually read the article for you and gave you recommendations for other quotes you could then be using for the purpose of this content itself. So let's go ahead and delete this title, because we might not like the title itself, but we want to add this this sentence, this quote from the article itself right here. As you can see, we're getting emoji recommendations as well. So let's go ahead and see if there are any emojis that might be relevant. Now, keep in mind, HubSpot and Adobe, you can see the research online and on our website. The research has shown you can get anywhere from 25 to 64% uplift in engagement by way of using emoji. Now, keep in mind, while it may seem like a very small incremental add-on, it actually, because it's driving double-digit engagement on multiple platforms, not just social media, but also email and purchase intent, you have to figure out, you have to wonder, how do I figure out of 3,000 emojis, which ones are the most contextually relevant? So what we do is, based on the predictive linguistics engine, again, that's patent pending, we actually built the world's first programmatic database and API that allows you to essentially send in a sentence or other emojis, and it'll give you, based on 35 million data points, which emojis, which hashtags, which words will do really well, and it'll take away the grunt work that honestly you wouldn't have the time to try to figure out. So as you can see here, let's go ahead and add this emoji here. So it's pointing to the article itself. Let's see if you can add one more. Now keep in mind, you want to be very sparing with the article itself. And of course, this is a hot article, being the Cybertruck itself. And let's say Tesla Cybertruck might be a good hashtag. And let's say we want to talk about technology. Now, technology news. Again, we're giving you recommendations in a drop-down format that might do really well. And I think that might be a good amount of hashtags right there. Now, let's go ahead and add. Let's see, a category. So which category do we want to add this in? Let's say we want to put this in tips, just for the purpose of demo. And then actually we don't like the image right here. We actually want to, maybe we want to use something more generalized. So what we'll do is, let's look for an autofocus image. And again, these images are coming from Unsplash, Pixabay, they're copyright free. And you have the ability to, obviously choose any one of them. And if you want to do some graphic design, we'll show you in the library how you can take images and actually create a design on your own as well. So let's go ahead and choose that image. Now, what will happen is object detection will try to figure out what's in the image itself. If any of the items in the image itself are relevant to become a hashtag, and let's say, looks like automotive design might be actually something relevant because we're talking about automotives here. And then finally, let's go ahead and click on Add to Library. Now, keep in mind, Add to Library is kicking another engine into gear, which is the compliance engine. As you know, Twitter came out last year, and they said if they detect anything that is similar or duplicated, they won't hesitate to warn you and then eventually delete your account. So what ends up happening is we actually go one step further. Unlike any of our competitors, we keep a tally on how similar your content is becoming over a period of time, specifically 60 days, and the last 60 days and the next 60 days. And that allows you to essentially, not shoot yourself in the foot as a business owner and get in trouble with the likes of Twitter. As you know, rules and regulations are, changing all the time. Woofy will take away that, level of grunt work and uncertainty when it comes to, when am I too similar? Can I post this? Can I not post this and whatnot? So as you can see here, this is 48% similar to something else. And, as you can see, there's another article here with the similar topic. It's 45%. And both of these are 12% similar to something that we posted in the last 60 days on Twitter, which is insightful because as soon as this gets to 84.99, anything above 85% will not be allowed on Twitter, and you have the ability to switch it up. So if I wanted to go in and say I want to change the content up a little bit, I can say Chris loves this amazing content. But actually, Chris, you don't like the word amazing. You like the word awesome.
I do love the Tesla Cybertruck.
Yes, there you go. And so as you can see, I can drop down, choose a synonym or an antonym. Super simple. I can choose to uncheck the Tesla Cybertruck and whatnot. So it's click, 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 change the content, and the percentages will change, or actually may go up or down. You never know. But the point of the matter is that we can help you switch it up so that you're always compliant and have the ability to not just wing it. This is data science driven. This is intelligence at its finest. And again, it's at a price point at $49 a month. With AppSumo, you get $49 for a lifetime. This intelligence is available to you. Now, moving forward, like I mentioned earlier, we have the ability to create graphics in the platform itself. Whether it's for Facebook, for Twitter, all the sizes are, there are different size requirements, different resolution requirements. All you have to do is essentially simply drag and drop your graphic designs. If you click on the content in terms of the copy itself, all you do is drag and drop. And once you're done, click publish, and you're good to go. It automatically adds it into the library, and you have a piece of content that you can go ahead and add content to, text specifically, hashtags, and the things of that nature. Now, of course, one of the things that other competitors, because of the Twitter's new terms of service, what they did was they actually removed the ability to have RSS feeds. What we do, we actually decided to keep it there because we have a patent pending compliance engine that you're seeing here with the similarity scores. We actually kept the RSS feed in, and what we allow you to do is essentially make sure that as the feed is coming in, as the new articles are coming in, of course, you can send them to different categories here, and you can choose whether you want to have it, pending for review, your review, or you can send it directly into the library into a specific category. But again, it'll add the similarity scores. If it detects anything that is too similar, it'll give you a warning. We'll not add it to the library so that you're always being protected from your social media perspective. Now, moving into the calendar, again, very visual, very beautiful. We wanted to keep that theme of creative, storytelling and creative asset management, especially with marketers being very creative themselves. Green to yellow to red is indicative of how busy your days and weeks and months are getting, mainly based on the amount of content you have being scheduled. So as you can see here, there are 2 pieces of content over here. We talked about Elon Musk on the 6th. We have 3 pieces of content here, and so on and so forth. That gives you almost like a heat map understanding. But ladies and gentlemen, remember the purple and the blue. This is how to show you a Gantt chart approach to understanding, your single posts. As you can see here, we've been promoting the AppSumo campaign with a lot of single posts. But then we also had a marketing campaign running a few days ago, and that was shown in purple. So it's a very visual-esque way to understand, and to be honest, make it dumb simple that even a 10-year-old influencer, and by the way, there are 10-year-old influencers making a lot of money around the world. We want to make it simple so that even they can understand how to run a data-driven, fully optimized campaign and a set of social media posts. Now, when it comes to the analytics, we give you the basics. We give you the likes, comments, shares, and where the content went to, what was the content overall itself. But keep in mind, this is the area that we will be further enhancing. So if you get the AppSumo account today and you sign up, know that all the upgrades will be coming to you in the next couple of months as well. You have full advantage of that. And one of the things to keep in mind is, like I started the demo with, why did you do so well and why did you not do so well when it comes to marketing content? What's the spacing, the words you use, the amount of verbs you use, the adjectives, the nouns, the emojis, the spacing around the emojis. Did you add the dots, as you're supposed to add in Instagram? And did that lead to better engagement? All of those little granular data points, we will help you understand in a very visual-esque way. And in fact, we're going to be doing all of that beautiful data science visualizations for paid marketing as well. So definitely, if you're going to sign up, keep an eye out for that, because that's all coming soon to every small and medium-sized agency and business owner around the world. Now, in the settings itself, you'll see one of the things that we have is the predictive linguistics engine right here. And so again, if you go back into add content, what you will see is if I type in, how are you? As you can see here, it's giving me an indication that it thinks RE will complete this word the best based on 35 million data points. So all I have to do is click tab again, because obviously it knows it's a question. And then I can say, I love, let's say, dogs and trees. I'm a environmentalist. But then you'll see down here, we start giving you recommendations for contextually relevant emojis that you could be adding for the purpose of this piece of content itself. Again, paw prints, the dog itself, highly relevant. And then if I wanted to add something which is more heart, loving in the middle, let's add a smiley face with the heart eyes. As you can see, this is fully optimized. You didn't have to drop down, go through 3,000 emojis. If you wanted to do that and you had time, of course, Chris, you can do that on your own over here manually. But this is how intelligence really is supposed to take away the grunt work so that you have more time running your business and having a fighting chance to compete with the big corporations with unlimited budgets all over the world. And so that's really where the demo comes in. Of course, one of the things to keep in mind is if you have a blog where you have a source of information or articles like let's take a look at entrepreneur.com. Super simple to bring that into the system itself. All I have to do is copy and paste and let Woofy do the rest. It will read the content, give you suggestions of other links to other quotes to be using. So let's go ahead and add this quote in here. And since we know this is about operations and business and it's about employees, let's add that in there. Again, let's have let's talk about pointing emoji there, so we drive some attention over here, and let's see if maybe we want to add another emoji from the drop down, and let's say we want to talk about the let's add the thumbs up emoji right there, and you're good to go. And if you don't have an image here, no problem at all. We can go ahead and add a business related image from here. Let's see if we can find one that might be relevant. Let's go ahead and add that one, select images. And keep in mind, you can add multiple images. And let's go ahead and see what, what might be relevant. So let's say this, this might be a good, let's see, community-based article, community business. Let's add that. And you're good to go. So if you have a blog post, but especially with an RSS feed, all you have to do is connect the RSS feed and it'll automatically ingest it into the library and keep a similarity score tally on it. But if you wanted to do a one-off copy and paste of the URL itself, Woofy will take care of it. So again, $49 for lifetime on AppSumo. That's definitely a good deal for you, for any small business, any underdog looking to compete. Woofy's really there to help you. And to be honest, we want all of your customers to understand that we are here to build a product with them. As you become our customers, we want to build the product for you. Give us your feedback, give us your insights. I know we have a couple of questions coming in as well. I think one of the top questions that we were seeing on the AppSumo page is about language support. We fully intend on supporting other languages, both from the interface perspective in terms of using the platform, but also the predictive linguistics engine. The way we build our patent pending technology, we have the ability to pretty much autocomplete any language around the world. And so that's something to keep an eye out for as well. But again, keep in mind, if you sign up today, you have all of these upgrades, all of these beautiful data-driven technologies will be becoming available to you very soon, including the Chrome extension that's coming out as well. Now, that's one of the things that I'm very excited about is how do you take autocomplete in terms of the linguistics, the wording, as well as the emojis anywhere on the internet. And so pay attention to this, Sumo Links. As you say, Chris, if you're writing an email, you're typing a subject line of a newsletter, we internally have been seeing well over 110% uplift in engagement. Of course, Adobe and HubSpot are saying, you can get anywhere for 25, 64%. We're seeing way more engagement than that in terms of when we use emojis in our subject line and when we don't. So this isn't just a social media marketing play. We want to be known as a data science, underdog support for all businesses around the world. And this Chrome extension that's coming out in the next couple of weeks is going to be it's going to be supporting that mission. So over back to you, Chris and Lindsay, if you have any questions or any thoughts. I know there were a couple of questions coming in as well, but that's the gist of our demo.
Hey, I have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Thank you so much for that. Our first question from the Q&A section here, is there a limit on the number of posts each month?
So there is a limit in terms of when you click on the upgrade tab, you'll see on the left side, the breakdown. So their number of posts in the library, there really isn't a limitation. But when it comes to number of social media posts scheduled in a 12-month time period, it's about 2,500, and that's actually more higher than most of our competitors. But that's really to make sure that either knowingly or unknowingly users don't spam their own accounts and cause issues for themselves, but also for Woofy itself. But we do fully intend on introducing other tiers, other initiatives where you can either increase or get more perks and things like that. That's all all of that we want genuine feedback from our new customers to understand what is the next limit that you'd like and why, and how can we cater to that.
Awesome, thank you. I love how flexible you are with everything.
Yeah,
and how open you are. Yeah. This is great. So in that vein, there have been some questions about future integrations. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the roadmap
Yeah.
and what's coming up next.
No, absolutely. So, like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that almost every customer of ours keeps asking is, how do I actually use a beautiful interface like this, which is definitely very intelligent and data driven, and there's a lot more data science coming in the roadmap. How do I use this for paid marketing? And that's actually something that we will be is definitely coming up early next year. Is on our roadmap. But in terms of integrations, we want to integrate with other graphic design tools. Currently, we have Design Bold and Crello. We understand that Crello is having some issues, technical issues, in the last couple of days. So we might be integrating with other competitors in the field, like PicMonkey and things like that. Again, Stencil was another feedback from your audience, and that's something we'll look into. As well as on the social media side, we fully intend on doing Pinterest, Google My Business, and as more social networks come out and become more popular, our we want our customers to tell us that's something that's important to them. They'll have full we'll have full capabilities if we can in a matter of months in that regard.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so a couple more. Is there Android compatibility?
Great question. So one of the things that we were debating on early on is, do we do iOS or Android just to get an MVP off the ground? We decided to do iOS because that's what our initial set of customers wanted and had in terms of iOS devices. But it's very clear that if we're looking to really take on the entire market, we need to do Android. So that's in the development. We will be releasing that early Q1 of next year. So keep an eye out for that. We actually just updated our Instagram scheduler as a V2, the next release just a couple of days ago. So if anyone has an iOS device, highly recommend you going to our website, just scrolling down a little bit, and you'll see right here the scheduling, download the Instagram scheduling app, and it'll take you directly to the App Store there.
Great. Yeah, we just got a question here in the Q&A. Somebody does want to know a little bit more about the Instagram app. So is there anything else you can tell us or show us about it?
Yeah, so the Instagram app, it's very simple. You can schedule in the platform itself. So if I wanted to talk about, let's say, let's do a holiday post since Thanksgiving's coming up. So I love the holidays. I love the holiday weekend. Actually, yeah, that is something I'm looking forward to. I love the holiday weekend. That's great. Let's go ahead and see if there are any emojis that might be good about this. So let's say, I love that emoji, and then I want to do, let's see. Maybe this one's good. All right, now let's go ahead and find an image that might be about holidays. Now let's go ahead and throw that in there. Let's say, maybe this one's good for the holiday season. And then let's go ahead and choose this over here. Let's go ahead and choose, let's say we want to put this in the funny category. Let's say we want to do a hashtag. So let's see, we want to do brunch. It looks like it's a brunch table. So family brunch, love the holidays. Let's do, family time. There you go. So that's good. We can go ahead and add it to the library, and it's going to do the compliance engine check again. And then what we can do is go into the library. Go ahead and do that. And then you see this icon with the triangle. Essentially, that creates a single post. But if I wanted to click on that, and then if I wanted to click on Instagram, let's say we want to do Arjun Rai. It looks like the image didn't come through, so let's go ahead and add that again. Whoops. Right there, and we can go ahead and click on post, and it will generate the post there. Now what will happen is all I have to do is open up my, as you can see here, if on my screen on the phone itself, it'll show you it's time to open up the Instagram app. As you can see here, it says that. And if I swipe on it, it'll take me to the app itself. And here we go. There's the exact post I had. If I click on it, it'll go ahead and ask me, are you logged in to the right account? In which case, this is my personal account, Arjun Ride Me. So you can see that maybe later on you can zoom in and I can say, yeah, I'm sure. And then it'll say, got it. and then it will open up Instagram for me, and then it'll ask me one of two things. Hey, is this a story or is this a feed post? I can choose feed. I can click next, and then I can click next again. Again, it copies it to your clipboard in terms of the copy itself. As you can see here, the copy is right there on top. Then I can go ahead and click OK and click share. And if you guys go to my Instagram page right this second, you will see that that post was added to the top left. And there it is. So it just took a couple of seconds to get that up and running. But again, you can update it. You can change it up as you deem fit. But it went from here to here.
That's great. Thank you. So I want to circle back to integrations with scheduling tools and link shorteners specifically. We've gotten a couple questions.
Great question. So we do have a link shortener built in. Currently, it's wfy.ai. We kept it, we integrated it, but we wanted to figure out, based on our customer feedback, what are the data points that are critical to you? Is it the IP address, the geo-targeting, the time of day, all of those pieces of information? We really wanted to work hand in hand with our customer base. So we do have that in settings. You'll see it on the bottom left. You can turn it on and off. And we fully want to integrate with other link shorteners. I think there were a couple of link shorteners mentioned on the AppSumo A section. So that is something that we'll look into. But you guys tell us which are the top 3 link shorteners you want to work with, and we'll integrate that in the next couple of months. And all that data, by the way, will be fully visualized to the point that even a 10-year-old can understand how do you actually use that information and become better in the analytics tab.
Awesome. All right, just a couple more questions. These are also from the deal page. So we want to know about white label and if the post includes something that says published with Hello Woofy or anything like that.
So white labeling is something we have talked about before, but really haven't gone into fully. So that's something that we might consider down the road. Right now, our main focus was how do we actually make sure that we are providing value, and if that value is in bringing white label to our customers, we'll look into that. But that hasn't been actually a top request for us yet. But again, if that's something that that's important to a lot of our customers, we'll look into that.
Sure. And then the last question from the deal page is, does the platform include the ability to suggest the best time to share posts?
So we actually did have that capability in our alpha mode, if you will, alpha version of the platform. What we quickly figured out was that even though 2 people could be in the same industry and could be in the same geography, we had to, the time of day that we were recommending, and actually most platforms recommend, they actually don't work because it's like administering medicine to the entire population, hoping that a small percentage of them will, the percentage of the patients will actually benefit from the medicine itself. As you know, today people are trying to make medicine very much specific to the patient themselves. We are taking the same approach. Early next year, we'll be seeing almost like a DNA approach, where every customer will, the engines will learn from every customer's success and in failures in terms of what's doing really well, why is it doing really well, like I said earlier, and all that information will be analytics tab. We'll use all of that and then give you recommendations specifically to your account and accounts. So we need a couple of more months to hone in on that, but it's not one size fits all, and that's something that all of our competitors, like to say they have, but truly at the end of the day, it doesn't work. It has to be specifically for your use case and your social media accounts.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you so much for going through all that, Arjun. I think we got a lot out of this. People seem pretty stoked about Hello Woofy. Are there any last things that you wanted to go over before we end this?
Yeah. So just again, back to my screen. We actually thought about how do we visualize all of this amazing patent pending technology, especially the predictive linguistics engine that's on the back end. How do we visualize it? So for everyone, you can go to woofy.ai and you can type in anything your heart desires, and you can start seeing how the 35 million data points are actually giving you recommendations for which emojis, hashtags, wordings, images even, which ones tend to do really well with one another based on 4 different algorithms. But this approach is known as complex network theory. Your audience doesn't have to remember this, but it's very similar to social networking theory. And that, Chris, if you and I are friends, and hopefully we become friends, and you want to, yeah, totally, and you want to recommend, say your friend Bob or Sarah, do you think they would get along really well with me? Maybe we want to do a partnership with them. You're the best person, or the node, in which case each of these are nodes. You're the best person to understand that relationship, whether they would get along with me or not. But then what happens when I want to introduce Sarah to my best friend Lisa, or Lisa wants to introduce her, to someone else? It gets very complicated. So what we've done, and those relationships, by the way, are called edges. We've built this network of, again, based on 35 million data points, to figure out what words, emojis, hashtags will do really well. And so as you're typing in the interface over here, that's how it's powering. And so that's the visualization of the back end. And that's just a sample of of the data set, that's data science that's going into the platform.
That's super cool. Thank you for walking through that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's all we got. Sumo Links, if you are on here, if you haven't already checked out and got yourself at least one code for Woofy, recommend you head over to appsumo.com. It's in browse right now. Again, starting at just $49, and it's backed by the AppSumo 60-day guarantee. So feel free to get it set up, play around with it, see what you can get done. Let us know in the comments how it's working for you and what you're doing with it. And if you have any further questions, you can leave those on the AppSumo deal page. And I'm sure you can also reach out to the Arjun over at the Hello Woofy team directly as well. But yeah, let us know what you guys are able to create, and we look forward to seeing what you can do. Arjun, thank you for hopping on and going through all of this.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And again, email me at arjun@hellowoofy.com. And if there's anything I can help you with, with regards to social media marketing or anything else, I love startups. Been doing it for 12 years. I want to support other small business owners and give them a fighting chance to win against the big corporations, the unlimited budgets of the world.
Heck yeah. Fantastic. Great note to end on. Appreciate it. Thank you, Arjun. Happy Thanksgiving to all of my U.S. brethren. And we'll be talking to you all soon. Have a good one.
Thank you.